This is my third pregnancy, and I am just past my first trimester. From that first trimester, I've had some very interesting symptoms that I didn't have in my prior 2 pregnancies. So I'm just gonna discuss all the symptoms that I experienced during my first trimester. Wasn't prepared for was acne, and I still have acne as the second trimester progresses. I did not expect to get acne. I didn't get acne during my first 2 pregnancies. In the past, I used to have crazy cystic acne, like it was disgusting craters all over my face. So the fact that my acne on my chin area is back is a very surprising symptom of being pregnant that I didn't realize was gonna happen. I also did not realize how constipated I would be during the first trimester, and honestly I am still constipated now. I got the go-ahead from my midwives to start drinking coffee, like a cup, maybe 2 cups a day, to help move things along, because it's like absolutely crazy how my husband calls it I'm plugged up. So it's crazy how plugged up I am, and like I just don't understand how I can be so, like, in the past I've had bad digestive issues, which is why I drink probiotic like kefir water and milk kefir, and I do my own yogurts. But still, like, I forget a lot of the times to drink, especially milk kefir helped me in my second pregnancy a lot. I did not get constipated in my second pregnancy at all. My first pregnancy, I was constipated up until I gave birth, pretty much. It was crazy, my first pregnancy. And I didn't know much my first pregnancy. So you would think my third pregnancy, I would have gotten rid of this constipation. But here we are, and I'm sitting here with a lot of poop because I'm constipated. And it's just so difficult for me to remember to like take the foods that I need to get the poop going. So that's a symptom, a self-imposed symptom, I guess. The other symptom that I had that I was very curious about was the fact that, like, I became pregnant with my second son about 5 months postpartum. And during that first trimester, I don't remember ever being repulsed by my first son's poop, like the smell of the poop. I actually really like changing poopy diapers because I want to see like how they're pooping and to see if they're pooping correct, like pooping good amounts and good consistency. So like that didn't bother me. But this first trimester with this third child, like I could not stand the sight or the smell of poop from either of my kids. It was disgusting. Now that I'm in my second trimester, it's a lot better. And I don't feel as nauseous and disgusted, but it was a shock to me because I didn't think that this would happen. Like I knew I would get adverse reactions from smells, but never poop. Strangely enough, because I like actually enjoy kind of the smell of poop, at least for my kids and myself. But like, yeah, that was really strange that like that happened. The other thing that I thought was strange was that in my first 2 pregnancies, I like hated the smell of coffee and of sourdough bread, like freshly baked sourdough bread, repulsed me. The smell of it completely repulsed me. And now, like in my first trimester with my third child, none of those smells repulse me. Like barely any smells repulse me. So that is very strange pregnancy symptom. Like it switched around because my first two pregnancies, I could not stand the smell of coffee. Like don't look at coffee. It was so crazy. With my first two pregnancies, I don't recall being so tired. Like this third pregnancy, first trimester, third pregnancy, like the tired that I felt wasn't sleep deprivation per se, because I have had sleep deprivation when my kids were newborns, but it was like a tired that even if I slept, when I woke up, I did not feel like I had slept, if that makes any sense. Like my body was physically drained and I couldn't get much of anything done during that first trimester. Like my husband was cooking and cleaning, and like he was just being a great helper in that regard, because I just like was just dragging my feet, really upset. Really upset. I wasn't super graceful during that first trimester because of like how tired I was, and I could have handled being so tired differently. Another thing that I think this pregnancy has been so different than my other pregnancies is that I actually am more grateful for this pregnancy. And this isn't a pregnancy symptom, it's more of a mindset kind of thing, because I came from a full-on feminist background where I didn't want to ever be pregnant, give birth and all of that, and I like slowly have like shedded that layer of me, of my past self, and now like I have fully embraced being pregnant, being a mom, obviously, to two young kids. And like this has been the first pregnancy where like every day I'm like, yay, like I love being pregnant, even if it's hard, like even if I'm so tired and like nauseous and stuff, like I still feel so incredibly grateful for being pregnant. And it's wonderful to see and feel that mindset shift from where I was before to where I am now. Like I think that's so incredibly like the power of God and the church and the influence of Christianity on the lives of people, and the importance of family life and the family and building the family. I've never thought about that until recently. And now that we're getting more children and more members of our family are coming, like it's just really like it's an awesome experience. So it's not a symptom, it's just like a mindset thing for me, at least because of my background and where I came from. Apart from those symptoms, I haven't experienced anything like physical, if that makes any sense, like no body changes. I was still nursing through a feeding tube with my second son, and I stopped that like recently because I just didn't want it to interfere with anything going on in the pregnancy. So I stopped feeding my son, and my breast kind of hurt for a little bit, but it wasn't like as dramatic as when I stopped breastfeeding my firstborn. So in those terms, like my breast symptoms, like I only felt a little bit of sharp pain, and that was it. I also forgot to mention that during my first trimester, I could not tolerate heat at all. So I was taking semi-cold showers because the heat just made me so nauseous. And that was a weird symptom that I had. This experience is going to be, God willing, very different than my other two, because my first one, I had major preeclampsia, I had HELLP syndrome, which I want to make a video about that in the future, because that was insane. Like, I was hospitalized for almost a week long. Thank God that I didn't suffer from any like shocks, and I didn't go into seizures and stuff, because like I was like, my body was completely shutting down. So thankfully, when it comes to those kinds of things, I thank God for modern, like the medications that we have. However, I do feel like if women were educated more on these topics and knew what to look out for, instead of like clinics and OBGYNs just being like, oh yeah, just come, we'll take your blood pressure, we won't talk about like what any of this stuff means, like I would have been more prepared. So yeah, like that was very shocking. First time mom, as a first time mom, that was not the route I wanted to go, but it was a really, really good like route, because it helped me like solidify like my, I guess like I prayed so hard, and like I had such a nice loving connection with God and Mary, and like it was just so nice. Like, and my husband was praying. He actually prayed to Matushka Olga, which she is a midwife. And it's just, even though it was scary, it was a good experience. But it was in the hospital. And then we moved to Pennsylvania, and I wasn't about to find a midwife in the middle of me being pregnant, in the middle of us moving, in the middle of so many middle things, you know? And then my second son was born in the hospital, and he was almost born in the car, because we did not go to the hospital quite on time. So thankfully he wasn't born in the car, but so close to being born in the car. So for my third kid, God willing, if everything goes well, I will actually have a home birth here in this house. So I am very excited for that. That is going to be a first. We are living among Amish and Mennonite people, so there's a lot of people here that do home births, and that is natural for them. I have never seen a home birth other than YouTube, of course. I've looked at the YouTube videos of home births and stuff, and I am encouraged to do the same thing. It's the most natural, most loving environment for a child to be born in the house. And I just think it will all be okay. So that is my goal for this pregnancy, to give birth at home, and God willing, it will turn out okay. And also, God willing, I will record it and share how it turned out. If you want to follow along, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be posting a lot more homemaking content and being pregnant, homemaking while being pregnant.